after this short intro. See you guys very soon.
It's showtime.
Okay guys, welcome back. You are watching the Shinhan Tank Pro League, and one thing I've noticed from watching my VODs back, and I just did it again, is I slouch down in my chair and then sit back up for when the camera goes on. So that's kind of funny, a little bit of a weird thing I'm doing. Oh man, serio, serio, man. You can't insult this shirt. This is Debenham's special. This one. This is one of my smart shirts. But either way, we're going to move on to our third game here between SouL and SouL and Ninth Team. Let's not waste any time. Let's head on over to the overlay and let's have a look at our next set of players. And I always say that, and I'm never quite ready to move it over, but here we go. Okay, so for Ninth Team, it's going to be V1. He's one of the best players at the moment. Was one of Team Liquid Staff's best players last round as well. Of course, Team Liquid Staff did merge with Foreign Brood War to make Ninth Team. V1 currently 2-1 up in this current round. Possibly the details are a little bit out of date. It seems there was a null pointer exception in my overlay somewhere, and it wasn't fixed. But either way, currently 0 for 1 against Zerg. That's going to be updated for next week as well. But for SouL, we're going to have Richley. Now, Richley is 2-0 up in this round. Went 3 for 1 last round. Now, of course, this is SouL's third game, so I know that is definitely right. And cool thing is, he did come 12th in round 1. He didn't actually play that many games. V1 came 14th because he did have less or more losses, had a worse ratio of wins, obviously. But they are going to be moving on to one of the more standard maps in the tournament. It's going to be New Sniper Ridge. It is on the Jungle World tile set. It is going to be a CVP, of course. It's 3 for 2 currently in the STPL and the Clash for Char as well. And not had that many mirrors on this match on this map, unlike some of the other ones. But 4-player map, standard thirds with gas. Obviously 12, 6, 3 and 9 o'clock thirds. Quite easy to defend. You do have that high ground outside of your natural, which does defend your main natural choke, and you can obviously wall off the way into your third at, say, the 9 o'clock base. I was pointing with the mouse, but I know you can't see it. So either way, going to be a cool map to go into between these two players. V1 a very strong Protoss player. Richley, of course, a very strong Zerg player. Did win the Clash for Char once. Multiple second place finisher as well, back when I was doing those weekly tournaments. But either way, let's head on over to the game, and let's get started with our third game of this series. And starting us off here in the 2 o'clock position, in the yellow, fighting for SouL, it's going to be Richley. And his opponent down here in the bottom right-hand position, it's going to be the Teal Protoss fighting for 9th team. It's V1. Now V1 obviously a very strong player, I did say that before, Richly a strong player as well, and both of them are really going to look to try and put their mark in the game. Now we see Richly immediately sending his Overlord towards the other natural. That is very intentional. The map is rotationally symmetric, it's not asymmetrical or anything like that. Obviously a lot like Fighting Spirit in that regard. The naturals are always going to be counterclockwise from you. Although it's like kind of reverse Fighting Spirit, because Fighting Spirit, the natural's always clockwise. But either way, we do see V1 going for possibly a gateway expand here. Going to get some minerals before scouting, not going to scout on 9. So that is likely going to be for a gateway expand. Now V1 very much a plan of those. A plan? A fan of those even. Spawning pool coming up for Richly on, believe that was 9 supply. Going to be an overpull from him. That's likely going to lead us into a 12 patch from him as well. So nothing too crazy on either side of the coin. It is actually going to be a forge. He just got those 5 extra minerals. And he's going to scout with them instead. So rather than get that little bit of economy, he's going to risk losing his probe with them. So I'm not really sure I agree with that, but does want to get a quick as scout as possible. He needs to know how many cannons he needs to add before he adds his Nexus on, of course. But he's going to be a little bit too late here to actually scout out for Richly's hatchery. So this hatchery is going to go down unimpeded, or impeded. I can never remember the right word, and unfortunately I've not got Rapid here to correct me. But I mean, V1 doing a pretty good job here. He's actually gonna have to add at least 1 cannon before he does this, surely. Is it gonna be a cannon? Add your cannons, V1. You can't risk it. You haven't scouted yet. Oh man, he is playing risky as anything. He's actually gone for a Nexus before a cannon despite not scouting his opponent. And could this catch him in a bad position? Of course, Richly very close to him, very short rush distance for these Lings. And we do finally have a cannon coming up, but he's not even going to scout. The Lings are on their way. The only time he'll see these Lings is when they get to his base. He didn't opt to double scout, and this is the one thing with a 4-player map. If you play greedy with your scouting like this, you can get burnt. Now a second cannon on the way, but the Lings are going to get on top of the cannons. There's no probes here to defend this. The Lings on top of the first cannon. The second cannon is likely going to go down as well, cancelling that. And he is going to have to rely entirely on probes here to try and defend. Now the pylon going down so quickly. The Nexus being cancelled as well. He's trying to pull back to 1 base. He's got 1 pylon. Not even finished. The forge is even going to go down. And Richly looks like he's going to take a very quick win here against V1. V1 needs to add some cannons very quickly if he wants to hold on. The forge so close to going down. Are we going to get any cannons? Yes, we are. But does it really matter? He's going to be locked on 1 base. He's adding on a gateway. 2 cannons coming in. But the Lings look like they're going to get on top of the cannon again before it's finished. He needs to pull probes. He needs to try and defend for as long as humanly possible with probes until these cannons finish. If he does not manage that, he will be going down very quickly and will give SouL a very quick 3-0 victory on the series. With, of course, that walkover as well. But looks like the cannons are going to finish, so at least for the time being he's going to stay alive. But he's going to be so far behind from here. We have a hatchery at the 3rd base coming up for Richly, a Hydralisk then coming up as well. And even if the Lings do not kill him, the Hydralisk will certainly pose a massive threat, as they will be able to outrange the cannon at the Nexus. So, I mean, we're going to see V1 try and hold on. But that's going to be very difficult for him. We've got Hydralisk speed coming along the way, and V1 is in such a weird position. Now, Kiki, there are a lot of foreign Terrans in the tournament. One thing I do want to do at some point is print a list of all the players and just post it on Team Liquid. Of course, in the results and standings thread, you do have the full team rosters. So if you are interested in seeing those, check those out. They're in the round 2 thread as well, I believe. But they will be fully up to date with all the results in that thread as well. But here we go. Looks like we've got a single Zealot. Going to try and move out and clear out some of these Lings. And I mean, this Zealot could be the key to victory here. If he can do a decent amount of damage, he may be able to make something happen. There's not actually that many drones for Richly. I mean, he's powering up a lot behind this. He's not actually added on any Hydrals yet. He doesn't quite need them. But this lone Zealot going to try and be a hero. Now, we do actually have V1 gonna try and expand again. Does he have a forge? Yes, he does. So he's gonna be able to get some cannons back up. But here we go. The Zealot gonna try and run in. There's only 3 links here. We'll be able to trade against those, but not against 4, not against 5, not against 6, not against 7. And with 8 lings there chasing him, these Zealots are not going to be long for this world. He does a good bit of micro, taking down a few of those lings, going to pull back once again. Now, of course, Richley doing a very good job with his vision, keeping an Overlord over this choke, so he knows exactly where the opponent's units are going to be. And here we go, the Zealots going to try and move back. We should actually have Ling speed finishing up soon, so these Zealots are going to need to get back soon. But he can't go back too quickly, he needs to wait for the cannons to finish. And that's one of the interesting things. Now, one difference between this version and the old version of Sniper Ridge is this was actually walkable. I should have pointed that out before, but it was because it was a little bit too easy to defend your third before. So they did split that up, but we have 3 cannons up. That's going to keep him alive at least for a short period against the Hydralisk, but there's a lot of Hydras on the way. He's going to try and build a Nexus here, but he needs to add a few more cannons. He did see the Hydralisk then, so I'm surprised he's not adding them. He doesn't really have any units. Obviously a Dragoon back here, not really going to help. Hydralisks, sorry, a Corsair not going to help against Hydras as well. And here we go, Zergling sleeping on top of the cannons, the Hydras on top of the cannons as well. And unfortunately, I think this is going to be a little bit too much for V1 to hold on to. He tried to valiantly hold on, didn't get enough cannons. And with the Hydralisk taking down the pylon and the natural yet again, I think this is going to be GG by V1. He's trying to add more cannons on in his main. He's trying to add his Templar Archives on. The Hydra's jumping on top of the cannons. They're going to be able to snipe this Nexus. He's got no units to defend against that. And GG. Instantly leaving the game there. That is going to be a win for Richley. And now, of course, that's also going to be a win for SouL. That'll actually take them to a 3-0 victory over the series. But if you haven't watched the STPL before, if you're checking out the VODs for the first time or you're here in person for the first time watching live, you will know, well, you won't know, but you're going to find out that if there is a game played in the STPL, I will cast it as long as I have the replay, of course. And as long as it's not an ace match that is meaningless, just because obviously every game does count towards the overall standings in